Good morning everyone. Today in this video, as always, we will fight against the advanced character of our world around us, and we will look at some current events. I should say actually ongoing trends. We know that there are many regions of the world from which people would like to emigrate from, like many countries of Central Europe, Balkans, parts of Russia, Ukraine, and so on, and not only. And one of the countries of dreams for these people. They think that life is great, euros are growing on the trees, and you don't have to do anything, and everything is provided to you. Our job is great, never boring, and so on, blah 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 blah. These idyllic visions that one of this country is Germany. Of course, for many years, for lazy bones, amateurs of social welfare, it was the case. Many people who were afraid of real job, feared job, they just decided to go to this country if they could and just enjoy social welfare for half of year and later work or pretend to work for another half of year, and they could have spent almost their entire life like this. Recently, the commie socialist Chancellor Schröder introduced Hartz IV program, limiting a little bit the social welfare, but actually for many people not much change. And I remember the American economist Milton Friedman, who said to Germans, don't be surprised that you have unemployment if the social welfare benefits are, in terms of their heights, comparable to the lowest or one of the lowest salary that are available on your market. Simply, it's not working doesn't bring any profits for many people. That's why they select social welfare. It's only pure true in this statement. So many people were thinking Germany paradise on earth. Because of this, and also, reputation, accuracy, technology, civilization, and also a picture, the image, in media, like for young people, presented, for instance, by the by the band that promotes really bad taste and promiscuity and lack of the ideas and very bad taste, and very bad music. They pretend to play hard music, really, how they really play these moments, these tough moments in their soundtracks. I mean, Rammstein, of course. A very weak group, but in many Slavic countries, also in Russia and in some countries in which many young people dream to emigrate to Germany, Rammstein is a sound of taste, the sort of rebellion against this stupid conservative past of our parents and grandparents. Now German liberty, promiscuity. But promiscuity is simply freedom, and we are not constrained by any moral or other limitations. Yeah, Rammstein, what a strong music, yes, taste of Germany, taste in quotation of freedom, in quotation of lack of constraints, and this is a sort of a selling point, like pop culture was in 70s and 80s, sold by the Western entertainment companies to other parts of the world, like a sort of the taste, in quotation, of the Western life, how allegedly Western people are living or were living those days in this country, and the same function is attributed today to such groups like Rammstein, but they are the most popular, to just brainwashed about Germany, young ones, in countries like the countries of Central Europe or Eastern Europe or Balkans. That this taste of German, lack of constraints, lack of stupid moral and traditional limitations, and so on. Of course, they play really tasteless music without any idea about strong hard music. We will talk on this channel many times in the future about good hard and strong music. I mean, not such not such lame productions like productions by Rammstein. And what's happening? Many Germans recently, especially last 2 years, because they were also forced, many of them, to take medicaments or things that are presented to us as medicaments they didn't want to take. There was of course a hysteria, like in many countries of the world, but of course in German way it was done. It was taken to the more extreme forms of this hysteria. And also there are many migrants that they do not integrate to the society because from the countries of the non-European or non-Western world we are not getting the social elite, we are getting simply simple people, plebs or nomads, because they also receive the information about free social welfare, free food, so they also would like to be amateurs of such life. So many of them try to emigrate to such countries like Germany, and they reach them, but they do not want to contribute to the society, but they also do not want to resign from their previous simple lifestyle. So there are many conflicts between people who are local to the German land and live their own way, and these people who came. Also there is a lot of leftist propaganda, so being conservative, Christian, Jewish or Catholic or even conservative Muslim in Germany who wants to live normally and doesn't accept this LBRRGQY, whatever, you know, this many acronyms, this all ideologies and ways of living are simply pushed back on the margin of the society. Their voices are silenced. Their children are forcibly educated in quotation by the state with this all ideological nonsense, this wokeness, or some people call it like this, I call it neo-marxist ideological nonsense, and you have no place, no freedom to live your traditional conservative life. That's why many Germans emigrate to Paraguay, some of them to Argentina, Chile, Brazil. Actually, it has some justification, because since the second half of 19th century AD, there are established quite well-functioning, quite conservative German communities. That's why they are targeting mainly these countries to live their normal life and escape from this neo-Marxism paradise, in quotation paradise of course, done by the socialists who want to always improve and correct the world to make it better. We see that somehow this improvement doesn't work. The most productive and the most creative individuals are living, only amateurs of social welfare and doing nothing are staying, and new ones like this are coming. How it will end we will know. Everything will collapse and many harm will be done to many people. This is actually end of the German dream of prosperity, but here we also see very interesting trend that general social awareness doesn't catch up so easily with the reality, because in many places I mentioned before, there is still the image of accurate, prosperous, well-functioning, tolerant, of course, liberated from stupid traditions, not restrained Germany, very well developing. But the reality is completely different. Prices are soaring, social conflicts are growing between different groups, newcomings and so on. For instance, censorship is growing because government doesn't know what to do to keep such diverse society in which tensions are larger and larger with time. So government introduces different forms of censorships and mandates and punishments for people who do not obey. Of course, not for everybody, because government is afraid of some groups. Officials fear some representatives of some social groups, so they are not punished, but some groups representatives doesn't fear at all. They are punished, as an example. So typical totalitarian socialist reality, as famous quotation from Orwell, some pigs are more equal than the others, from Animal Farm, yeah. So we see this is the German reality nowadays. That's why we are experiencing of formulation, actually last step of formulation of neo-Marxist socialist paradise, in quotation, from which more creative and normal people are fleeing massively. All the best. I wish you a nice day, and I hope all will be fine to all of you, my listeners. Bye.